Welcome to the Rap Lab, Rap Lab, Rap Lab. Welcome to the
Ladies and
Rap
gentlemen, it's
Lab.
Monday, so you know what that means. It's all new episode of the Rap Lab podcast. You know it's the summer of 2022, so you know it's your boy Big Bad Hoochie Daddy himself, the Candyman, the ALFRE to the D.
What up, what up? It's your boy, all caps, no spaces, the REVBARBERMC.
And it's Dr. QG with the PhD. If you need your hip hop fix, come see me.
Oh, I see that. I hear that. But I just want to send a belated Happy Father's Day to everybody out there, especially to our own Rev Barber MC, who's yeah. And by the way, I'm very upset this Father's Day.
Why is that?
Cause man, all the women that have called me daddy over the years, and not one text saying Happy Father's Day. But yeah, so Happy Father's Day out there to the fathers, the stepfathers, the foster fathers, the sugar daddies, all the daddies in the world. But yeah, so we here. Today's topic. We're getting creative. We're playing fantasy this go around. This idea was brought to us by a friend of the show, Mr. O'Dare. My good friend O'Dare Nunez Shaw, who is a loyal listener to the Rap Lab. Shout outs to that man, one of my best friends in life. And he gave us the idea of who would you replace him on that song with? So pretty much the concept behind today's show, we'll get a list of songs and take one rapper off that song, say why we don't want him on that song. Who would we replace him with if we were to replace him with anybody, and why that person? So, QG, we started off with you. What's one song you would want to take somebody off of, and why? And who would you replace him with, and why?
All right. Well, my first pick is God Gave Me Style by 50 Cent. This was on The Massacre. It was released March 3rd, 2005.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Remember the song? What's up, man?
Now you know you can't mention that song because you know that song got a melody to it. You know, it'd be like God gave me style, God gave me grace. Ah man, I love that. Actually, that's one of my favorite songs on The Massacre. So it's interesting you chose that. But go on.
The reason why I chose to take 50 Cent off that record, and I want to shout out the producer of the record. The producer of the record, correct me if I'm wrong, is that Needles?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, yeah. I felt it didn't fit the theme of the album. You know, this was Beef Time, and the first debut single that actually came out was Piggy Bank. And, you know, he was going at Jadakiss, Fat Joe, Nas, Shine, and a couple other people. And with this one, with the narrative where the album was going and hearing 50 sing on it, I felt the beat was a little too soft with what he was trying to do. And I just felt that particular song didn't fit the concept of that album because it was Beef Time. He was going at Benzino. It was the follow up to Get Rich or Die Trying. And at that time, 50 felt he could have used any beat that he wanted and he still would have sold. It still sold 5 million copies and it did sell 1.1 million in like 4 or 5 days. But I felt with him singing that part and the beat, I thought it was just a little bit too light, because he had these aggressive songs on there, and then it was mixed around with a couple of storytelling records, which is fine. But I felt the follow up, Get Rich or Die Trying, you know, go get me style, go get me great. I didn't like that part. So I felt that the only rapper I felt that could have actually did something with that, I felt Beanie Siegel could have destroyed that beat.
What?
Yeah, I feel Beanie Siegel could have destroyed that beat because Beanie's aggressive tone and his aggressive delivery, it would have brought more out of that beat. I think 50 went too light. And obviously with that beat, it's soft. You know what I mean? It's something light. So
Not
50,
for not for
50
nothing.
saying what he was saying was what he was saying. Go ahead.
Not for nothing, but that's like putting McGruff the crime dog over a Smokey the Bear commercial. Like it's just
Not really, because we've heard Beanie Siegel rap over some storytelling life beats before.
that
Like
beat is
Remember
too
Them
light.
Days.
That beat is too.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
voice
yeah. But
rough.
compare that, but compare that to Remember Them Days with Eve when he was talking about getting out of the hood, or the song with Snoop Dogg on the Becoming album where he was talking about jail and everything like that. Beanie Siegel has a more push out delivery, and it would have brought more out of that beat. Like Beanie rap with pain in him, you know what I mean? So even though the beat may be light, Beans could still rap over it because he's rapped over light beats before, and it's more of a storytelling, emotional record. So at the time, 50 said it himself. He just downloaded a bunch of beats to a CD and just picked which ones that he liked and then just rapped over it. So I felt Beanie Siegel could have really brought more. Just like the song This Can't Be Life. That's a light beat, and Beans told his story on it, the song with Jay-Z and Scarface. So Beans just rapped over light beats before. It's just his delivery would have brought more out of it, I felt. So that's why I chose Beanie Siegel on that one.
Okay. Interesting. Go ahead, Rev.
All right, so this one might be a little bit up your alley. So on the Carter 4, you know how he had the intro, the interlude, and the outro, and he had like a number of guest artists on there rapping.
Don't tell me you taking Poe off the outro.
He got to get out of
Oh,
there.
I knew it. I knew it.
Either that or he had to rewrite his verse, but honestly, it just wasn't. He didn't fit that, man.
You gotta remember, Shine Poe ain't rapping a decade before he appeared on that outro, bro.
Well, he should have practiced because that was terrible. He did not belong there. If anybody, actually, I would put Jay-Z on there because you have Bun B, you have Nas, and you have Busta Rhymes. You got some heavyweights there. I felt like Jay-Z, if he wasn't going to be on his lazy shit, because sometimes he gets on some features and he be on some lazy shit. But Jay-Z would have shined on this. Excuse the pun. But with him, Nas, Busta, Bun B, yeah, he would have had to bring his best sword on that one. So Sean can definitely go. And I think I'm the only one, I'm not the only one who feels that way about that outro.
Wow. So wow. Damn, no love for Shine Poe?
Hey, you're lucky I didn't kick Lil Wayne off his own song.
I mean, I'm not.
Jay-Z is an actual good pick, especially for that time period. Because if you got all them heavy hitters on there, you would, if you put a Jay-Z on there with Nas and the Busta Rhymes and the Wayne, like, no,
yeah, and then
Sean, I like Sean, but yeah.
And the competition that him and Jay-Z had, Wayne and Jay-Z, I think it would have been a nice spar in front of the legends, in front of Nas and them.
I agree.
That's interesting. Well, my first pick is gonna be very interesting, I feel, but the song I'm gonna target is the Shot Caller remix by French Montana.
Oh wow, you taking French out?
Yes. Absolutely not. I'm not taking French out. French had a hot line in the first verse. What are you talking about?
A hot line like something you call in because he ain't got no bars.
No, my man said, "Can I hit it in the condo? Can I hit it in the morning like Alonzo?" But
we actually heard a bar like that before from Jay-Z on Can I Get It, but to each his own.
What you mean? Wait, what bar did Jay-Z spit?
He said the same type of thing. He just changed up the words. Can I hit it in the morning without giving you half of my dough?
Well, it's not the exact same thing. So
he just changed up the words. That's all. But he borrowed the same cadence.
Yeah, and Jay-Z borrowed so much from Biggie, but we don't talk about it.
Yeah, but the Jay-Z song is better than the French song.
Anywho, he's just a French Montana hater, but it's okay. We've talked about it.
I'm not a French I'm not a French Montana hater. It's just that French Montana doesn't impress me with some of his records.
Well, I'm keeping French on the song. I'm keeping Rick Ross on the song. But I gotta take fucking P. Diddy off a goddamn song. Bro, yeah. I don't know why, but for every 10 P. Diddy verses I hear, at least 8 of them sounds like he's reading off of a paper.
He is.
Bro,
do you have any idea who wrote that verse for P. Diddy?
Let me look it up while we're here, because it's not even the words that are a problem in the song. It's his flow.
What's the name of the record?
The Shot Caller remix. Yeah, that's a good question.
Because we know Puff don't write, so whoever wrote that for Puff, I guess they got to get the blame too.
Matter of fact, what did
wasn't Sauce for Money.
Oh man. This This verse by P
When
Diddy.
did it come out? When did it come out? What year did that come
26,
out?
2016.
2016.
Yep, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Singles. Let's see. Shot caller. Let's see. Oh no, I stand corrected. Shot caller came out in 2012.
2012.
The remix came out in 2011.
Okay.
But let's see who gets the credits. The songwriter was Charlie Jimenez, which I don't even know who that is. But yeah, man. Whew. That P Diddy verse was rough, bro.
So
Rough.
who would you replace Puff with?
Nas. And I,
Solid pick.
and I'll tell you why. The
Go
beat
ahead.
that beat is a perfect Nas beat. The only thing, and remember, at the time, Nas was coming off of Life is Good.
Right.
So that beat sounds like a beat that would have fit in on that album.
Okay.
I rank that beat up there as similar in tune with Accident Murderers.
That's the song with Rick Ross on it.
Yes, I think Nas would have rode that beat and killed it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think he would have had a better verse than French on that record.
Well, yeah, especially at that time when you got groups coming together with verses. It kind of alludes to what Rev said. When you got artists coming together, somebody's gonna try to outdo somebody. And if you're on a record with like a couple of other cats, you do want to have the best verse.
But
Depending if that's your thing.
we should put it on the Rap Lab. We should put it on the Rap Lab social media and talk about that line and see if people find it hot.
That line, if people find it hot.
Can I hit it in the condo? Can I hit it in the morning like Alonzo?
You notice, Rev, he almost quoted the Jay-Z bar.
Yeah,
I did not.
You
French.
almost quoted the Jay-Z bar.
Yeah,
No.
y'all know how I feel about French.
Parlez-vous?
Oui.
Yo, come on, man. Yo, French is a talented rapper. Don't do that. Yeah, you're gonna get us heat in the Bronx, man.
We ain't gonna get no heat in the Bronx.
But go ahead, QG. Your second pick.
Now this track has been criticized a lot, and a lot of people felt that this was one of the weakest songs on the album. We're gonna go to "It Was Written," released July 2nd, 1996. Nas Is Coming.
Mm.
That beat right there, I felt it was a Dr. Dre throwaway beat. Even though Nas and Dre made history, Nas was the first New York rapper rapping with Dre. And it's funny enough, those verses that Nas did on that record was actually done before on a previous record that was unreleased. But
Really?
it's okay. Yeah. Um, at that time, a lot of rappers were doing other records, and then whether it be a label not clearing the verses or not putting out the record, a rapper would take those same verses and put them on another record. So, Nas Is Coming, which is track number 7 on the It Was Written album. If I'm not mistaken, I think those verses. Yes. The first verse was actually on a Dog Pound song, "Don't Stop, Keep Going." The original "Don't Stop, Keep Going." It was with Daz and Corrupt and Nas. And when you hear that first line, "The Golden Child got that place shot up," that same verse is the same first verse that was on Nas Is Coming. So it was probably recorded around the same time. Because if you guys remember, the Dog Pound was working on their album, and when Pac got with Death Row, Suge made the call, "Hey, listen, y'all give Pac all your best work." So they took Nas off it and put Pac on it, and Pac had a killer verse too. So it would have been interesting to see if they would have kept Nas on it and put Pac. But long story short, short story long, I would have replaced Scarface. I would have put Scarface on a beat like that because I felt Scarface's vocals would have projected the beat a lot better. This is one of them I felt it was one of them throwaway Dr. Dre beats. This is when Aftermath was just starting to get going. Dre just left Death Row. So I think at the time he's trying to find a new sound, and he's working with a lot of East Coast acts. He's still got some West Coast acts with him, but I think he's trying to find that signature sound. It was different because now it's a new label. He's trying to leave away gangster rap. I felt at the time Uncle Face could have really went in on that beat because Scarface is one of the most recognizable, hard hitting voices ever. And the year later, he came out with the Untouchable album, which is one of the greatest albums I've ever heard in rap. So I felt Scarface could have brought more out of that Nas is Coming beat. A lot of people don't even talk about that beat. They hate on that and Black Girl Lost.
I like Black Girl Lost. I like part 2 as well.
Yeah. They criticize the beat, Rev, pretty much. The lyrics is all
that was
there.
one of my favorite joints.
Yeah, the lyrics is all there. Lyrically, the joint's crazy. But I think it goes with concepts once again because it's the mafioso era, and look at the tracks that Nas was hitting with on that album, bro. You got besides If I Rule the World, you got
Suspect.
I Gave You Power, Suspect, and oh man, like he was hitting all cylinders, bro. Street Dreams. So it's like it kind of goes back to the massacre. Like when you have these aggressive, hard-hitting beef storytelling records, and then you just have like that one song, like, this don't fit. But
gotcha.
Yeah, but that's my pick, Scarface. I would have put Scarface on Nas is Coming.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I felt he would have did great on that.
Okay, Rev, you're second.
All right. I don't know, man. You might look at me differently after this, but I know you heard this before. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Master
come
P.
on, son.
Gotta go. Get him out of here.
4, 3, 2, 1.
He didn't belong on that record, I feel, man.
He did belong on that record.
No, because the record before that didn't have him on it.
I'm a no soldier. That's why they booked me.
Doesn't matter what he should have been on that song.
Yeah, he wasn't the one for that.
And
not for that type of record.
Up until a couple of days ago, I was gonna say that they should have left the song as is.
They should have the shocker.
Absolutely not. But I was having a discussion about like late 90s rappers, early 2000 rappers, and I feel like an interesting choice to add on that record would have been Drag On.
Interesting.
You know,
this came out in 1997, right?
I thought it was 98. No, it might have been 97. Might have been
97. Was Drag On a thing in 97?
Well, he was doing his thing on the underground.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting look to have Drag On a record like that, especially with DMX on a record.
Right, absolutely. And I feel like Drag On's buzz would have like almost matched DMX's buzz. It wasn't gonna match it, but like almost. Like when Drag On dropped his album, it was kind of lackluster, and just the momentum building towards it just kind of died out. And yeah, it just didn't do what it did. But I feel like if he had that one feature on a hit song or a song with like some all-star MCs, I felt like Drag On's career might have played out a little differently because he is a lyricist. Drag On he's pretty good. Don't sleep on Drag.
Facts.
And I felt like, you know, a lot of MCs have done freestyles to that beat and everything, but I feel like Drag On would have killed it, in my opinion.
Master P hate on this show is real.
It's not Master P hate. It's about
a record
that will actually fit, because that record is supposed to be like a cipher, lyrical bar fest.
So hold on. So because he's not lyrical, Master P don't have no business in the cipher.
He didn't do anything spectacular on it. All he did was made a bunch of noise.
You have to check the interview when LL was talking about the original record and the first video that came out that didn't even have P on it. The original concept of the record was to have like a cipher, raw lyricism type record. That was the original concept. The only reason why Master P was added on it, and no diss to Master P, we love Master P, it was a label political thing because Master P was one of the hottest artists at the time. So
do you remember
more of a buzz to the record.
What he said on that song though?
Master P? Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
got my mic on. It's time to get rowdy. Got my homies
But
from
can't.
the NO to the NY.
Yeah. That's good and all, Candy Man. But compared to the other rappers that were on it, he didn't have the best verse. That's part of the problem. So
You know,
even though you're a big Master P fan, you have to look at it from the record perspective. Method Man went first, killed it. Redman killed it. Cannabis killed it. DMX destroyed it. LL, it's his record. He went off. So it's like levels to this.
I
That's the
have
issue.
I have that album, and I'm
I know
very
you have the album.
disappointed that the remix didn't make the album.
Of
That's a
course not.
great thing.
Y'all are disrespectful.
But do you understand what I just told you?
Yes, you know what
Why the verse didn't fit?
I understand. But you know what? Speaking of that song, real quick, do y'all notice the album version has Cannabis still on it, but the
Yes.
music video he ain't there?
There's a video with him in it.
Yeah,
Really?
word.
I haven't seen it. I've only seen the video, the version
Yes.
for the video.
Yes. Yes. There's a video with him in it.
Oh well.
Yep.
Uh,
He was in a football jersey.
really?
Yes, he was.
Because I know
Yeah.
P was in the Broncos jersey, but I gotta look back at that.
Yeah, Matt. Cannabis had the shoulder pads. He had the helmet. Yeah, he's in it. There's a video for it.
I gotta look back at it. All right, my turn. It's time to get serious. Now y'all know that. Wait, what does that mean?
Time to get serious. Are we not being serious?
No, I mean I'm talking about me personally.
Oh, okay.
People always, I read the emails and people say sometimes that I talk about beef too much, and when it comes to a certain duo, I keep talking about the chief of police, and that I'm not really a fan of the music, just a fan of the drama. Well, that's bullshit. Okay, so
Mm.
I'm gonna go with Headbanger by EPMD. Right now,
Okay.
Headbanger is EPMD, K Solo, and Redman. Now, I know I've made some comments about K Solo in the past, but he got to get off this record. I'm going to
Damn.
replace K Solo with Method Man.
Okay.
Why are you replacing K Solo?
I feel out of the four rappers, he had even though his verse wasn't bad, I felt like he had the I wouldn't want to say worst because his verse is not bad, but I feel like if I had to rank the four verses, he would come in last. So he got to go.
I don't know about that. I don't
So
agree with that at all.
who had the worst verse on the song then?
You know what? With a record like that, I'm not even going to pay attention to who had the worst verse because it's a group. It was an introduction to the hit squad, so it's part of the crew. So that's why I looked at it as a collective. I didn't
But
look
but
at
but
it
but,
as
but you know what though?
individual
It's
rappers
not,
that had the better or worse verse.
according to the official album credits though, it's not EPMD featuring the Hit Squad. It's EPMD.
I understand that. I understand that, but it was an introduction. For those that follow EPMD, especially at that time, that's what EPMD did. That's why they gave Redman his debut on their record. That's why they gave K
Wait,
Solo the debut on their
was that
record.
the first ever appearance of Redman on Wax? I thought Redman's album came out before that record.
This was a way to show the collective. They did the same thing with DOS Effects. They would have them on their records just to show them and have all the members of the group chart at the same time. That's why they did it that way. So when K Solo and Redman, even though that they're solo artists, they're still part of that umbrella. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like when you have a group and you have affiliates and you have an affiliate on that record, it's still under one collective. So that was EPMD's strategy to have K Solo, Redman, and all of them on that record. That was on Business Never Personal.
Yes. So all right. So Business Never Personal came out before Redman's album, but K Solo had an album a whole 2 years prior to that though.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is going to help promote the other people in the group. And Headbanger was a single. They got a video for it and all.
Yeah. And my favorite line in the song by Redman, rah rah, like cerebral palsy, which
But you're taking Solo off because you felt his verse was the weakest out of all of them.
correct.
I don't agree with that. I felt Solo had a pretty good verse. I thought his verse was killer.
So who do you feel is the weakest verse in the song?
I'm not gonna go with a weak verse. I think they all did pretty good.
But if you had to,
I think everybody did their thing, Candy Man.
yeah, but you're not answering the question though.
I am answering the question. I'm not
if
gonna
God
force
if
feed.
God came down from heaven,
I'm not gonna force feed. That's like me asking you who had the worst verse on Make 'Em Say
you could ask me who had the worst verse on Make Him Say and I tell you who had the worst.
Who had the worst verse on Make 'Em Say
As much as I love Silk, I gotta give him that distinction.
Well, that's a no-brainer. That's a
What is that
no-brainer.
supposed to mean?
That's a no-brainer. As much as Silk gets criticized on the show for his lyricism and stuff like that, that's easy. But as far okay, what about a Hot Boy record? Pick a Hot Boy record. Who had the worst verse on one of the Hot Boy records?
Name the song, I'll tell you.
All right, let's see. Matter of fact, you
Project
name the
6.
song.
Project 6?
Okay.
That's Juvenile, BG, and Wayne. Oh my God. Oh fuck. Oh man, I hate to do it, but god damn it, BG.
I don't know why you feel Solo had the worst verse. Is there another agenda why you feel Solo had the worst verse?
Why is it when it comes to me there has to be an agenda to everything? Why can't I just make a decision?
You know why? You know why? Because you've never said anything good about K Solo since this podcast was created.
That is not true. We took a
That's
car
very
ride.
True. That's very true.
Hey, listen.
This got nothing to do with the car ride. This has to do with
listen,
the podcast.
No wait.
You've said many things unbecoming about K Solo on this show, and the car ride got nothing to do with it. Your playlist was on shuffle.
First of all,
so you had no choice but to have him on
solo song. Rev, you were asleep, so you may not remember.
The playlist was on shuffle. You played that on purpose.
Thank God I was asleep.
On purpose.
You played
it on purpose. You played it on purpose as a joke because you've always brought up the whole beef DVD thing with K Solo. That's got nothing to do with the record itself. It has to do with the person.
And what song was we listening to? We wasn't even listening to Spellbound. We was listening to...
No, it wasn't Spellbound. Yeah, exactly, because that was the single that he had.
Before I let go, your mom's in my business. Tell her to get out of my business. Come on, man.
Rev, I think this is just a personal thing. He's just taking K Solo off just because he said some things about K Solo. Because if you listen to Spellbound, I'm sorry, people. If you listen to Headbanger, nobody had a whack verse.
I said that nobody.
So him taking K Solo off is just to run along with the narrative, and he said he want to replace him with Method Man. And I don't know about that.
Wait. Why are you giving the people a false narrative?
Because that's what you do.
I don't give people a false narrative.
That's what you do. You're taking K Solo off for no reason because you have an agenda. You have an agenda against K Solo because of the beef DVD and all this other stuff like that. K Solo was perfect for that record. Everybody did their thing on that record.
Listen, I'm getting tired of this. I'm the least biased person on this show.
You're the most biased person. You're the most biased person on this show.
No. See, I could get into it, but the viewers don't want to hear that. But I am the least biased person on this show.
You was picking like the worst rappers ever. You did protect a lot of people, man.
Exactly. Up on there.
And you mentioned rappers that nobody listened to. So
but nobody
just want to play the political part
because I got the most diverse ears in the world.
It's not about diverse. Just because you condone a lot of whackness, that doesn't make you diverse. That just makes you a conformative.
Wow, I'm surprised you didn't call me a patsy.
I'm not gonna call you a patsy. The only patsy I respect is Patsy Cline.
I don't even know who that is, but
that shows you not diverse then.
She ain't a rapper. I would have heard of.
She don't gotta be a rapper. She don't gotta be a rapper. It's about the music. That just shows you not diverse.
I'm diverse in the realms of hip hop, sir.
Please. There's a lot of rappers you don't listen to.
Yeah, there's a lot of rappers you don't listen to, and
do you got any Alcoholics albums in your possession?
I have.
No, but that's.
Do you got any King T albums in your possession?
I actually have his very first one.
What'd you say, Rev?
Nah, I don't got him. I know who he is, but I like the Alcoholics though.
Yeah, Alcoholics is fire.
Hell yeah.
Bro, I've got albums by people that most people can't even find records of, bro. When you get a
whoop-dee freaking do. Buy a donut.
Listen, when you get a King Son album in your possession, you come speak to me.
When you get an alcoholic album, when you get an alcoholic album, come speak to me.
When I get the Who album?
Alcoholics.
Bro. Wow.
He probably gonna go on Amazon right now and order all of them.
I've tried to get Alcoholics albums, but they're hard to find.
Yeah, you ain't looking hard enough.
Well, I got Kwame the Gifted and Schizo. Come talk to me.
So you got Kwame the Gifted and Schizo. Wear polka dots and run around.
Yeah. When you get a JJ Fat album, you come talk to me. But anyway,
Please, you got a JJ Fat album because of the damn movie. Don't play yourself.
I had that JJ Fat. Don't
right.
don't make me go screenshot my
Yeah,
Amazon
right.
receipt.
Listen, you could go to Google, you could go to Apple Music, you could go anywhere, screenshot, copy, crop, and paste all you like. You ain't impressing nobody. You seen my CD collection,
And you
I'm
see
not
mine.
right. But you wanna jump up here and act like you all of a sudden the Guru Museum, please.
If there
Sit
was
your
a
butt
recorded
down.
record, I got it.
Sit your butt down because you
I
wasn't there for none
understand.
of it. You wasn't there for none of it. When it was all going on in the beginning, me and Rev was there.
Yeah,
Know
because
your
y'all
place,
opened me.
boy.
Of course y'all was
Know
there.
your place, boy.
Word up, baby.
You know who you
1983.
talking to. You don't know who you talking to. The park jams and everything when it was premiering on the radio, all that stuff on TV. Know your place.
Whew.
Listen.
Wait.
If anybody disputes my knowledge of hip hop,
Don't play yourself. Don't play yourself. Nobody's dissing your knowledge of hip hop. But don't come up here and act like you the watcher and all of a sudden, or you the Galactus in universe. Sit your butt down.
Anywho, K Solo's coming off the record, and
K Solo staying on the record. Don't listen
well,
to
if
this
it was up
clown,
to
man.
me, K Solo's off the record.
Don't listen to this clown, man. You off the record. You off the show. This is me and Rev's show now.
You can't kick me off.
You out of here. He fired. Yo, Rev, go ahead, Rev.
You
Fired.
yo
Out of here, man.
you mess around and
This
your
lame
all
duck.
your
You
whole
mess
audio
around.
get edited out.
Yeah. Well, you gonna get edited
Hey,
out
I'm
of my
going to
life
edit
then.
today.
You gonna get edited out of my life then. Go ahead, leave.
Oh.
Bounce. Goodbye.
But back to serious business.
Goodbye. Go back to New Orleans. Eat some gumbo.
I actually had gumbo yesterday.
Yeah, and I bet it was whack too. Hope you have a stomach virus.
Don't call my mama's cooking whack.
Your mom ain't cooking. You did. It was whack.
Well, anywho.
I had some too. I was throwing up all week. Go ahead, continue.
Anywho, but yeah, I think that's the perfect beat for Method Man.
It would have been cool. Maybe he could have added him on it, you know, maybe not take
Because
off
you know what
K Solo.
that beat is gritty. And what was that, 1992? In that time period, most of the Wu-Tang guys was rapping over gritty beats. I think that would have been perfect for him.
Yeah, the
Especially-
only thing
Go ahead.
about that is that like Wu-Tang, Onyx and them, they weren't super communal with people, you know? They kind of stayed to themselves. And a lot of them in interviews have said that they kind of regretted that. Because I've spoken on
Method Man was
Yeah.
one of the few that would branch out because obviously he was the lone feature on Ready to Die.
Yeah.
So I think all right, now this I don't remember off the top of my head, but have EPMD and the Wu ever worked together?
No.
Later. Not during
Later
that
on.
time period.
Trying to rack my brain, but yeah, man. But I think Method Man would have been a good fit for that record. But go ahead, QG, your last pick.
All right.
If you want to add
Put 'em
some
in there.
bonus ones, go ahead, because I got some bonus ones too.
Yeah.
I got a couple honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with "Put 'Em in Their Place" by Mobb Deep. I didn't think they fit on that beat. I felt that beat should have went to Lloyd Banks. I felt that beat should have went to Lloyd Banks. Lloyd Banks should have kept it for Zone, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this was the single for
Blood Money.
Blood Money. Yeah, for the Blood Money album. You know, we all talked about it. This was when Mobb Deep got down with G Unit, and I just felt that sound.
Terrible album.
Yeah, that song was more for Banks. I think Banks could have kept it on his own. Even Game this Mobb Deep on it, and he did a better job than they did. And it was a diss record. You understand what I'm saying? So when I listen to "Put 'Em in Their Place," especially the way that it started, and this is no diss to P, love you P, but look at the way he started. I was raised by the hood, adopted by the. It's like. That beat was way too hard and too pounded. You need somebody to come in with some punchlines, man. You need somebody to come in and bring that record out. I felt Banks would have been the one. This was in 2006. And we already know at the time when it came to the mixtapes and the album success, Banks went platinum. Banks was that dude. So I felt that beat could have gone for him on his later projects or something like that. The producer of the record, it was Shy Money XL, Havoc, and Kyle Miller. I felt that could have went to Banks, man. I think Banks would have destroyed it.
Okay, no argument there. Even though that is one of my favorite songs on that album, though. But I'm not gonna get
I
into
felt Banks would have destroyed it.
because if I start talking about Blood Money, everybody in the world gonna be in an uproar because
You could talk about Blood Money because I think with you, it comes with the sound quality, correct?
and that's where see, thank you. That's the biggest because remember my trademark phrase when it comes to Blood Money. I never said Blood Money was their best work. It's my favorite because the way it sounds, it just sounds polished.
But my issue with that is, what about the song itself, though? What about the songs itself? Don't don't the lyrics and the production and the quality of the songs itself mean something compared to
It
Shook
does. It
Ones
does.
and
It
Eye
does.
for an Eye?
It does mean something, but at the same time, I don't know. Like it just to me, it just sounds better. It's like how do I explain this? It's like hmm, I don't know. It's just like a car, an old car with a fresh coat of paint.
Hmm.
That's what it was. Mobb Deep was just trying to fit into the G Unit sound. I mean, like I said, it's not their best work, but it's the one that sounds the best. I'm just going off the quality of the beats and the audio. Because not for nothing, and I don't know if y'all ever experienced this. You ever just listen to something from the 90s or the 80s and you have to turn the volume up, and then the next
Yeah,
track you play will be something a little bit more recent and you have to turn the volume down?
yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah,
I don't think that should matter though, man. I think if the song is great, then yeah, the song is great. Yeah, that's why you got a lot of remastered versions coming out, and the mixing is a little bit better because at the time, But I understand your standpoint. Like if you got to go in your car, and if you're taking a long drive, and if you want to pop in something, you don't want to have to adjust the album. You just want to let it go. I get that part.
like no offense, Rev, but listening to 36 Chambers, I gotta crank the volume up.
Yeah, they came out with a remastered version though.
But the original version, for those who don't know, and we covered this on our Woo episode in the archive, they recorded that album on water damaged equipment. So that
Hmm.
just goes to show you. But yeah, I get it though. Bank sounds like he could flow over that beat. That's a typical G Unit beat. So I
Right,
respect it.
exactly.
All right, Rev. What about you?
All right, so I got a couple of bonus honorable mentions.
Wait, we can't get to the bonus yet. You got to do number 3.
Oh, okay. So I got number 3. So this will be my last official one. And it's hard to take this person off because this person was like a huge part of this small group. But Foxy Brown on Nas Full Circle was probably one of the worst verses I've heard like in
Agreed.
hip hop history. Yo. It
Agreed.
was super trash. I don't know if she wrote it or who wrote it for her, but she had to get that shit back. And the person it's hard to say replace because, like I said, she's a big part of this group. But they should have put Nature.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I felt like he should have been there to begin with. But it was nice hearing Dr. Dre too. Especially like he wasn't even credited on the album with the verse. But Foxy's verse was horrible. Like
He was all over
she
the
just
place.
yeah, she wasn't saying anything. You know what I mean? Like she talked about like how she got the key to Brooklyn, and that's the only thing that like stood out in that verse. But everything else was just not good, And yeah, she made that comparison to her being Tasha on Power, which I don't think is the best comparison because we see if you watch Power, that character is in
Hmm.
behind bars now. But
Hmm.
yeah, everything else on that verse was just horrible, man. And I was happy when I first read that she was on it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we got like a mini firm reunion. No doubt. I was of course anticipating my man Cormega's verse. But when it got to Foxy, I think it was just all voice, all persona, no lyrics. And I don't know. Maybe they should have cut her verse to be 8 bars or something and give Nature the last 8. But it's hard to listen to that song with her on it.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that, especially the way that AZ, Cormega, and Nas set the tone. Like you need
Oh yeah.
somebody to bring it home. You know what I mean? And Nature probably would have been a good fit for that, especially for the nostalgic reasons. Like I was looking for Nature. You know what I mean? When I heard that Mega was going to be on the album, I was like, oh man, oh this is going to be official tissue. So with Nature, it would have been like the home run. But. And they asked Nature about that too. He was like, he didn't get a call for it. It's all good. No hate, no bad blood. He just didn't get the call. And if he got the call, he would have went on it. But it is what it is.
Okay. Well, my next pick is going to be an interesting one. I'm going with the Don't Like remix by Kanye and Chief Keef, featuring Pusha T and Jadakiss. And oh boy, I'm going to get heat for this one, but Jada, you got to go. You got to go.
Why is Jada going?
Reason being, Jadakiss is a cool dude. I've told the story on this podcast before, how back in January of 2020, I bumped into Jadakiss at the airport and he was cool to me. So there's nothing personal behind this, but Jadakiss, I rank Jadakiss in the same group with Busta Rhymes and Mystical as somebody I can't listen to in bulk. Reason being because of the sound of his voice, right? Jadakiss has a very, I don't want to say raspy, but like a mix of raspy and gravel in his voice. And for that beat, I feel like it doesn't fit over that beat. And he starts off his verse, I done so purple, I done so white. And I'm like, come on, Jada. Now who I would replace him with, think about this song, right? You got a mix of good music in Chicago. Who fits that mold on good music at the time more than Common? I think Common would have done up something special on that beat.
On that beat?
I think so.
Sounds
Well,
like
you know
someone's
what?
in Chicago with them firecrackers in the background.
Yeah, that's
Shout
out
out
in my
to
neighborhood.
Chirac.
That's out in my neighborhood. They letting off fireworks down the block.
Damn, it ain't 4th of
Because of
July.
Al, because they know Al's on his shit
Yo,
tonight.
they was doing that all last night, letting off fireworks. Yo, it sounded like car explosions.
But I think Common could have because Common did do a freestyle over that beat anyway. When it was the cool thing to do.
I'm not gonna knock it because I mean Common has worked with Kid Cudi before, right?
Yes, he has.
Right. I mean I've heard him on type of sounds like that. So Common, yeah, lyrically he would have did his thing. That Jadakiss verse you mentioned, one of the issues I had with it is that it was too short.
Think so?
I thought it was short. I mean compared to, you know, because okay, it's a Chief Keef record. Kanye had the longest verse.
Yep.
Big Sean did his thing
Oh,
on
and Big
there.
Sean was on there too, yeah.
Yeah, for that type of sound, for that type of song, it's all about who can fit. You know what I mean? And even though I associate Common with a certain type of way, because Common is a rapper's rapper. You know what I mean? So he would have got on this record and probably would have tore it up. Uh, Jadakiss, as great as he is, he'll get on anything.
He just seems
You
out of
know,
place.
I mean, looking at the roster, I get it. Because like you said earlier, because if it's good music, if it's a good music Chicago thing, why not have somebody that was already on the label and somebody that's already from Chicago? So I get that part.
Absolutely. And like I said, again, like no knock on Jada. I don't know, he sounds out of place on that record.
Yeah. Same as how we said earlier with Master P on 4321. He sounded out of place on that record.
Man, we gotta leave the Colonel alone.
He
man.
did.
It's not a diss to the Colonel. It's just that record was not the record.
Well, QG, you got any honorable mentions, or are you stopping at 3?
I got an honorable mention. I'm gonna go with my main man, Easy E. Rest in peace. I gotta go with Only If You Want It.
Really?
Produced by Naughty by Nature. I felt Naughty could have kept that record on their own. Why is that? Is because first of all, Naughty by Nature produced the record, and we know Easy E didn't write. Naughty by Nature wrote the record. So Easy got to rap like how Naughty would write it. So with his high pitched vocals, to me, it just didn't work. Can I get an eye open up? Easy looking up. Compared to Tretch, can I get an eye open up? You know what I mean? Like it would have just worked better if Tretch would have kept that record for the group and just kept it that way. That beat was way too aggressive and way too bouncy. It was a single. There's a video for it and all that. Naughty by Nature actually wrote 2 songs for Eric. And that was Hit the Hooker, which came out later on, straight off the streets of Compton. But this was the first time they linked up with him. And Easy did his thing. It was a cool song, but I felt like him, the way he was trying to rap like Naughty. That's the thing that needs to be put out as far as ghostwriting. When you have somebody that writes a record, you have to try to imitate the person that's writing it, which is a challenge. And with Naughty's 90s style, that's a hard style to imitate. I give Easy credit for trying to keep up with it, but I felt that didn't work. I felt Naughty could have kept that record for themselves and put it out for themselves. It would have been crazy.
All right. What about you, Rev?
So I got 2. Memphis Bleak, Mind Right remix. He had H Money Bags and Jay-Z and Beanie Siegel. I'd keep Beanie, get rid of H Money Bags and Jay-Z, and I'd let Ja Rule have a verse on that. Also, Saigon, Come On Baby remix with Jay-Z. I'd get Jay-Z out of there. That's one of his lazy verses. I'd put True Life on there.
What is this? Jay-Z slaughter campaign?
No, it's not.
Hey, I put Jay-Z on a Lil Wayne outro song. But I just felt like those 2 verses were definitely one of both of his laziest verses. He didn't come off on any of them joints, especially the Saigon Come On Baby, where Saigon had made mention about it, how lackluster that verse was. And, you know, Jay-Z in interviews has admitted that too, that he hasn't given out some of his best verses to certain artists, that he pretty much on that particular one did it as a favor for Just Blaze. So yeah, I'd put True Life on that one because I know Psy and True Life were super tight, and at the time True Life was signed to Rock La Familia, and I felt like it would have gave True Life a dope spotlight because Saigon Come On Baby was it was on the charts, wasn't that high, but it was high. I felt like both artists could have profited off of it, and True Life definitely would have capitalized off the exposure and maybe had even released an album via Rock La Familia. I know during that time period they was trying to integrate, I guess, like the Latin artists, capitalizing off what Nori did with the Oye Me Canto and all that and the reggaeton stuff. It was coming to like the tail end. So I felt like an artist like True Life would have kind of put the ball in the Latinos' court as far as the hip hop goes and put a little band-aid on the reggaeton stuff that Nori was trying to do.
I agree with that. And it's funny because it's like Jay-Z could just hop on a record, and it's because it's Jay-Z. People are just gonna listen to it and not critique and question the lyrics. It kind of points out that he was all over the what's that album? Jay
Electronica.
Yeah, Jay Electronica, that one. He was all over it, and it felt like it was a Jay-Z album, not a Jay Electronica album. He was like on every song, and it's like, how is it listed as a Jay Electronica album when Jay-Z's all over it? And Jay-Z, he'll have like a couple of lines that stand out, but that's about it. And people will quote and make memes about it. But you're right. You're totally right about that. Like Jay would just appear on it and just say whatever, and then just like, what's the purpose of him being hungry and having the best verse on it?
Fair enough. For mine, my honorable mention, I'm going to go with Man for TV. This was a tough one, and Killer, I love you. Harlem, I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. But Cam gotta go. It
Why
was
does Cam gotta go?
it was a close decision between him and Nori, but I narrowly gave the Duke to Nori between the two.
Why?
And huh?
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like Cam was heavily outshined on that record. If I'm being honest.
It's a fair thing to say because Nature had the first verse and completely destroyed it. And this is like Nature's debut. Then you have um Pun coming in second, and Pun just obliterated it. And then you got Jada and Styles going tit for tat. And then you had Cam. I liked that Cameron verse. I thought Cameron was all right because I'm looking at the year as well. At that year, all those guys was out. All them guys had albums. All them guys was hot. So I felt that was pretty cool. But in comparison to who was on it and how many of these guys killed it, I could see why you or anybody else would want Cameron off compared to what those guys were saying lyrically. I mean, Nori was all over the place. Shout out to T.O. He always jokes about that bar about Hennessy straight with tomato juice.
That and
And
funny guy like Steve Harvey.
yeah, I mean
But
Cam. I mean, if you look at Cam verse, rich places, six places, see my story, 6,666 pages. That's the Cameron I like, to be honest. Over big faces at the same dice game, I caught 6 cases. I'm like, yo, Cam was rapping on that record. But I could see compared to the others why you would want to take him off. I think Pun had a crazy verse. I thought Pun destroyed it. So yeah, I could see why.
but I would replace him I'm gonna replace him with Hove.
Jay-Z on Banned from TV. What you think of that, Ref?
I actually think it'd be a good fit. I could hear Jay Z on that.
Because that's a Swizzy joint, ain't it?
Yep.
I would replace him with Jay-Z. Especially that era of Jay-Z. Because 98 was what? Volume 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That era Jay-Z could have killed it. X2.
Yeah, I think Jay would have done that justice.
Yeah, it would have been a solid choice. Jay could have get on there with it's a Swizzy track, and yeah, that would have been very interesting to hear Hov rap on there with Pun, Jada Styles, and Nori. Would have been crazy.
Yep. That's I think that would have been a good one. Well, fellas, I would love to hear what the listeners got to say. So if you out there, hit us up on raplabpod@gmail.com or DM us on IG raplabpod or tweet us on Twitter raplabpod. Let us know who you taking off their own song and who you replacing them with. I'd love to hear.
Actually, I got something for y'all I could throw in there. This is from T.O. and him and I had a conversation. He actually felt he would have taken Biggie off of More Money, More Problems and just kept it with Mason Puff.
That's that would
I questioned it. I said, seriously,
that's
you
odd.
would take you would just he felt that with that type of song and the way Mason Puff was doing it, he felt Big's verse did not fit on that type of beat and that type of song.
I don't think that song can exist without Big, to be honest with you.
I agree with you on that. And again, Mace wrote the verse for Puffy. So Mace wrote 2 verses, and then Biggie just came in with his verse. So yeah,
Damn, I wish T.O. was here to explain himself, but
yeah. But that was his pick when we talked about it. So shout out to T.O. We definitely got to plug you in and throw one of your picks in there.
yeah, that's very interesting.
Hmm.
But shout out to T.O. I'm doing this thing. And if you're a father, thank you for listening to this. Happy belated Father's Day to you. It ain't Sunday, but yeah, fellas, we got to do some more fantasy topics. And if you out there have a topic that you want us to discuss, and James from England, we ain't forget about you, but your choice of film for us to review is not very popular amongst the cast here. But we ain't.
Which is not necessarily true. This guy can't help himself. Your choice of documentaries is not very popular amongst this cast up here. Basically, and this is Alfred from a parallel universe. Don't listen to the other Alfred because he likes to run his mouth. The issue with the Biggie and Tupac documentary is that the way that the footage was shot, it wasn't really something that you could really reference, and there was issues with the helicopter and the Baltimore and the Big Shug, Big Shug, Big Shug, Big Shug. I say it so many times, my teeth turn white. Big Shug, Big Shug, Big Shug, Big Shug, and that's just the way that the Candy Man talk. He like to hear the sound of his own voice. So James from England, don't worry, your documentary will get reviewed, and we'll just keep talking about it, and that's just the way it is. Yeah, Big Shug, Big Shug, Big Shug.
I don't
Chief
sound.
of police, chief of police, chief of police,
I don't sound like that.
You do.
chief of police.
No, I do not.
Yeah, you do. You sound like this, Alfred, every time you talk.
Yeah, it's not very popular on this show, the Biggie and Tupac documentary, but we'll review it. Matter of fact, I'll just review it by myself. I'll shove my head up my culo so far that you'd have to get somebody to rip it right out so I can talk about it.
That's not fun. That's not fucking funny.
Because you keep running your mouth every single time.
Right.
It's not that popular. All this that has nothing to do with it. I've already given my disagreements about the Biggie and Tupac documentary. I have no issue sitting down and going over it and explaining why, like I've done countless times. But you like to keep going on and on. Well, it's not that very popular on this show.
You
And
said
the
you
reason,
didn't
the
film.
reason why, and I told you why. I told you why. No matter how many times I tell you, you keep bringing back up over and over and over what you think. You never incorporate what I say as far as the Biggie and Tupac documentary.
Bro,
You like to stick with the same story over and over again when I've given you logical reasons why. I said I have no issues going over that documentary. The problem with the documentary is certain things that was done in that documentary, especially by the person who shot that film. And you like to bring up the same references over and over and over again. It's ridiculous.
That's not true.
And it has to stop. Yes, it does. You always bring up Mopreme. You always bring up Frank. You always bring up the guy that came out the supermarket and say, "Oh no, not Christopher. He never sold drugs." You always bring up the part where the guy goes into the barbershop and the girl was hiding her face on the camera. You bring up Big Shug in the prison. "Oh no, Snoop will never come." You bring up the same things over and over and over again. That's what you do. And it's time to stop. So if you want to review the DVD, we can review the DVD. But stop lying to the public and saying that the other members of this group do not want to watch it. Just stop.
I never said y'all didn't want to watch it. I just said y'all don't like it.
Just stop. Just stop.
Well, we know you'll be here strictly for the documentary.
Just stop. Stop doing that.
I don't want to watch the Pac one.
See, I told you.
You ain't tell nobody nothing.
No, that one's horrible. I mean, the Biggie one's not good either, but
Wait, what do you
Pac
mean
one's
the
the
big?
worst.
What do you mean the Pac one? It's one documentary about both of them.
Oh, I thought you meant both that because they both got movies about them.
No. It's called Biggie and Tupac. It's on Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah, like 2002. Narrated by a
okay.
British guy.
Okay, nah. I'm not interested in that either.
Damn. Well, James, you see, you'll never get that review episode.
I like
He can get the
Resurrection.
He can get the review episode, which is fine. And yes, Resurrection is great. We talked
Oh,
about it on
Brad
here.
said he
I
don't want to watch it. What can we do?
I'll watch it.
I
I don't want to, but I'll do it for the fans, for us. What's that word? I'll do it grudgingly or whatever. Begrudgingly.
he's
But,
right.
but yeah, man, shout out to James for writing in every couple of weeks for the last few months. But I like that DVD. You'll see when you watch it.
Yeah, I gotta be high for that one.
My man said I gotta smoke weed before I can sit down and watch that. But yeah, if you got an episode idea, we listening to all y'all ideas. Talk about stuff that y'all want to hear. Inbox us Rap Lab Pod on Twitter and on Instagram. RapLabPod@gmail.com for the email. Well, all right, folks. It's been another episode of the Rap Lab. We'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Welcome to the Rap Lab. Welcome to the Rap Lab. Welcome to the Rap Lab.